Thing's wobbling all over the place. I can't take it. I can't stand it. It's fucking wobbling. The stand, it's there. It's still. You think it stands still? Yeah, I told you. I have to be the one to. Anyway, funny like picking crumbs off my shirt and got like pond scum up here. I have like pond scum up here, right? And I'm picking some hair off my shirt, you know. Yeah, so you don't know what it's like to be a slave pulling bird in America. People hardly sympathize. Certain subject matters people do not sympathize with. If you can sympathize with whatever is on the current slate of empathy sponging, then you could wring out a good profit for yourself, I suppose. You know. Anyway, I'd like to remind everybody to go stream as much as possible from my past catalog. I actually am starting to think that I'm happy with the Wayside Again EP thing that I did, even though that was recorded out on a street on a despicable, up its own butt, contrived, Portlandian sort of college town. The sound of this artificial light that came to be about a year and a half ago. It's this permanent artificial light buzzing that never goes away ever. And you know, I grew up as that section being my stomping grounds, though they were more so rolling grounds with the urethane wheels, whatever budget skateboard I could afford, that kind of thing. But I'm content with the Wayside Again EP. I'm trying to convince myself that the Verbena album was pretty alright too, but I don't really like to ever go back and listen to anything that I made. Like I have a open mic thing that I did recently, and I'm supposed to edit that and make a collection of some of those songs that I did through all that. But I just don't want to go back and listen to it. It's like hearing yourself on a telephone recorder. Anyway, yeah, I have newer stuff out. Maybe I don't really care, honestly. It's a lack of motivation. I have aspiration, right? Um, I have what's it called? Aspiration. I don't know. I could make something that I find where I was tuning in to something deeper than myself and feel proud about something I made, and that's not gonna matter. You have to pay tons of money to market executives, a bunch of people that think they know the next trend for the future and everything like that. That's why in the late 60s, all the way through the 70s and stuff, you'd have a lot of bad, horrible stuff, but then there'd be really exciting music and everything. There'd be fun music, kicking music where the bass drum really popped and punched through, and good guitar solos, even in the pop songs and everything. You'd have Tina Turner songs with amazing guitar solos thrown in there and everything. So anyway, I gotta babysit like the mentally ill, and I gotta deal with crap. I can't even get a peaceful night rest where I'm at, and then I have to go out into what they call the exterior world and battle a bunch of people who are projecting their inner neurosis, making political movements out of it and stuff. So that's where we're at, where the collective, can gain data access, because the quicker you can communicate your thoughts and your emotions, the less of a stop you're going to take before you put it out there. So it's absolutely emotional, and it's all these different bangs going on about, people with all of their issues, rather than having a place of innovation, of research, of patience. And I think patience has to do a lot with being able to communicate ideas in a healthier way, you know. All said to be said, though, go stream as much of my back catalog as possible so I can get like $2.68 for every 800 streams or whatever. I'm trying to put exciting stuff up onto Patreon and all that. I don't know if I'll end up losing more money if I actually get anyone to subscribe to that. But probably would just get another hard drive so I can make more things. The long goal is the drivable RV, and then I could just take off away from everything. Maybe get some peace in my existence, so. Yeah, I was looking at people like talking about like who they're gonna book and everything around here, and it's not ever based on like the passion or the idea of what it is you actually do as a musician. It's about the coat that you wear, or it's about the it's about what you wear as far as an idea. And then you'll get like people that are like hateful feminists that are screaming at everything that moves, and they'll be blathering out some really boring cover of a song that was way better than this thing that their own cover version and stuff. And that'll get me some heat for saying that. But if I tell the truth about the world or whatever, no matter which way you go, and I'll try to clarify this. If you work on your own mind and body and soul or whatever, and you're honest about it, you're going to be in so much trouble from so many people that want to take shortcuts. But I think the people that take the shortcuts are going to produce creativities that are not memorable at all. And then the next trend will come along or whatever, if we can survive into the future, if there being any more trends. Because, every generation thinks it though. Oh yeah, it's the time of the apocalypse. Do I really believe the whole apocalypse thing? I kind of thought it'd be fun to have a hat that says apocalypse on it. That's one of the things about it. I'd segment to the aspect that it's Kali Yuga. I believe that for sure. I think we're all kind of doomed that a discovery of a place called Gobekli Tepe in Turkey was discovered, and nobody cares about that very much at all on a grander scale of history itself, having sort of a monumental change as far as predating history by some extreme aspect. But nevertheless, you know, I think I was gonna try to, if I ever get peace in my life, sit down and try to write something of an article about if you open yourself up into a intent of perception expansion or whatever. And I'm not talking about people that just eat shrooms all the time and then turn into major annoyances. Just like, you know, perceptual curiosity put into an activation, like a daily intent, you know, to study, I guess, psychology. But, psychology has even been ruined. Everything that had become sort of a discipline that was a true and earnest discipline has been ruined by the internet, with people being able to jump at any sort of little packet of research, and then the loudest, and then the people step in and become like the faces of these things, and then market, monetize, and create basically groups of people that are there to communicate, so that it's an act of socializing, so that people don't feel bored or alone, rather than the actual fruition of self-development. So the people that are very serious about self-development kind of get pushed into the back any time any subject comes up that can become a social group. So and what was I gonna say beyond that? Let me eat this for a sec. I'm gonna chew on this, see if I can go to where I was leading towards what I was talking about there. I mean, that might be enough, because it's almost 9 o'clock at night. And yet again, I've been sewing. That's what I've been doing. It's been fun. My dad did thread wrap work onto walking sticks and onto fishing poles, and became quite endeared and passionate by producing artworks that were pretty impressive doing that. So by whatever way, I'm just doing sewing regarding guitar straps right now. And that's it. All these sewing needles. This is like the one I got right now. The only one without the end breaking off. I was sewing through heavy leathers at one point and had the eyelet ends break off as I pulled them through. So that's something that happened. But yes, I would very much like to finish up some of the audio work I've been doing. I do really realize, though, that you can finish projects, and I'm not just giving myself a hard time or a trip out about how hard it is to market and get shows lined up and stuff in all of these little college towns that turn into these places of political rage, because I have plays that I had written and wanted to get done and produced and everything, but you want to like get like a barf bag when you see the politics of all these in groups, these people that they huff their own farts to a degree where it becomes an addiction to them and their lives, and then the output of things that they have don't have spirit or soul. And that's my rant about that, is that these things get popular but they don't tap into the inner soul, and it's very bizarre to witness that. I don't mind repeating that as a subject if somehow, someday, that point could get across, you know. I just very much do think about past generations of anything where the aspect of at least some sort of reaching towards an oversoul could appear to be present in those kind of things. And it seems like, for what I discuss about a timeline of what we call the Kali Yuga, things are becoming dumber. And it's hard to find any aspiration towards, continuing creative works where the civilization that you release your intents upon tapping into the oversoul becomes rejected and swatted away by people that basically are addicted to media junk food. You could find, we'll go to the trouble aspect here again. There's demigods that people worship today, and most of them are Star Wars characters or Kurt Cobain or something like that. All these demigods, I'm not really sure people realize that they have an allegiance towards, worship towards, and I think you'd hone in on the target of realizing that those are truths on the percentage of people that would immediately get frustrated, angered, red hot tempered, and spastically reactive towards those ideas of even being brought up, like the whole Harry Potter, Star Wars, Kurt Cobain, this and that, this and that. And there's little slighter examples of that in eras before, like, oh, Jim Morrison, The Doors, and it's like anything, the band Kiss, blah, 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 blah. And then it all goes back into like stemming from deeper archetypes of like Greek and Roman and Egyptian eras, and maybe paganism and things like that. There's some blog spot called Secret Sun that I had read quite a bit of back in the day, of when I feel like consciousness expansion research was taken much, much more seriously, and you could find people that would be able to meet with you in person and have passionate, fulfilling conversations of things like that. Subject matter of, solar subject matter, mythology. And it's like a really bad B-side version of mythology on all of the rehashes of things that people worship today. And we can't get back past, wearing t-shirts of bands of people that are drug-addled and dead. It's I absolutely know for sure people will take offense to even bringing that up. So there's a big guard around human people, or the psyche of humans, the human psyche of people, an extreme guard where that little wall of a built-up persona that people carry with them cannot be altered in any way. But I believe that that persona people build up is something that needs to be challenged and rebuilt for any self-development to actually take form and to begin that process, which is a death and rebirth process, for the human persona. But people cannot separate that sort of marketed individuation from their true essence of beingness. And I have a inquiry about how much soul matter that there actually is for uh, you know the collective populace, if there's enough soul or spirit energy that can be balanced, or if it's something that needs to be activated by human beings. One thing that seems to activate those kind of things is facing something of a self-death process or a near-death experience, or extreme trauma being lived through, is something that I think gets people into understanding sort of the endeavor of their own psyche. So, and all that was kind of subject matter that was very popular, and then it kind of stopped. People became political sycophants, and people kind of got suckered into becoming political personalities rather than people that would judge things based off passion and intrigue. Kind of like that era of the N.D.E kids and everything. They became something else because you don't see them around anymore. But there was this whole thing going on when the media was pushing the last hurrah of people using actual instruments in music. And, you take a society and you're going to have these little separate pockets of creating subcultures. And then you could continue some onwards, or you could just rid of them completely. And by ridding of them completely, you push them into some other gathering of thought. And they became very, 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 very projective types of people who are now extremely political, but they are fiery with passion and not realism or common sense. And they will try to cancel you to no end for even bringing up the idea that they could question their own sort of control mechanisms, or, being manipulated by media emotion and all that kind of thing. So having any healthy actual practice of self-development makes those sort of jackal collectives uneasy to no end, because it's a threat to what they link to being their own livelihood, because they link their own identity politic to livelihood. So that's why I suppose it seems to be more of a silent path, sort of a personal and not very loud thing to take any serious steps forward to gain a healthy psychology of your own being, which engages in having a healthy body or physiological build of your own being. But there's junk food thought that people get addicted to, and that allows them to it lets their body go, it lets their mind go, it lets their self-responsibility go. So you kind of see that going on in mass presently. So listen to enough streams of what I made for the stuff I already have out, and I'll make some more stuff and get a drivable RV and drive very, very far away and still probably find some of these issues that I was just ranting about, because you can't really escape it totally and fully, I suppose. Even the individual has to participate on whatever sort of age that the collective is going through. And I would associate the present age with a massive inquisition that is occurring that people are absolutely not self-aware about. And people will preach up to the end of their lives on things that they do not realize that they're being very contradictory about. So, yeah. Jet Moto 2. I remember that game. I would like to play that. I would find some healing if I could play a game like Jet Moto 2 right now. Just to connect the subject. That's a moment. It's a moment between other moments, so I thought I'd cram this moment into some other moments I didn't even know I had around or anything like that. I'm in another predicament where these old super dead strings. You ever notice how I start a sentence and then for the sake of playing just cut that sentence right down to nothing? Some flicker, placker, pick. Got a fatter one. Try to say it again or do what I do to explain the situation where when you have a fatter pick, to me, my excuse, if you want my excuse, which you're gonna get anyway unless you hit stop and run away right now, my excuse is that this replicates the sound of a mahogany guitar. Without having to actually purchase an entire mahogany guitar. If you use a fatter pick, you get a muted sound of some of the over something you feel. You're the one, you already know what I'm talking about. You know, the overtones or whatever. You get overtones, you know, with a regular pick, that's a hair stuck to it. You remove the hair, play it. Sometimes it is that I can't play the same thing twice, but a lot of the time, honestly, I get bored. So, you know, but, yeah, it happened again. The strings sounded like crap. Something happens with a guitar, okay? And your strings will sound good, even if they're really old strings. And it might just be, I don't know. You ever watch that show, Touched by an Angel? What about In Heat of the Night? Do they ever have any mashups? You know, some people are supposed to like update their taste to the modern age, and then you realize the modern age doesn't have any taste. I want to say it now anyway, because I'm gonna get in trouble for it. I always like to get a little segment called "I'm gonna get in trouble for this." I was gonna say I had this like idea of resurrecting Mathew Perry. You're gonna get in crap for that. I'm sorry. Also, not that anyone cares. I'm just, oh God. Yeah. I'm doing something where I'm doing a solo and I'm just excusing out the rhythm because I feel like the rhythm back piece carries through like subconsciously, so you could just move to the solo area or a guitar lick and then return back to like the rhythm area, something that I noticed. I don't know if I can give an example of it or whatever. I'm on the spot now with it, but I thought I'd give a bad example. Show my devotion to the etiquette of Northeast hospitality. So there used to be these parks at night, and they're a lot better to experience at nighttime, but you have to like make sure you can't drive there, because where are you gonna park? So you like ride a bicycle and you just push your bicycle into some shrubs or whatever, and it'd be a nice moonlit night. And nobody's supposed to go anywhere anymore, and they never were in the first place, especially now, especially when things are closed. But there's people that are like, people that like, they spraggle when the nightfall comes, and you can't not spraggle. You're gonna get bound up. You're gonna start to crack after a while if you don't actually go out and do things. Humankind, their little, their snaggle baby minds are sleeping. They're dreaming of like soft drinks or something like that. And I'm just itching to get out, go see what's underneath the moonlight and all that kind of thing. So you go out and do that kind of thing, but you can't drive anywhere to do it. So you get some cardio in. And on top of the cardio, like I said, you just take your bicycle and push it into the shrubs. Because you gotta worry about those damn town crazies. They can smell whenever you leave a bicycle out, I swear. I have some examples one day to get to about bicycle riding at nighttime. Leaving a bicycle out, having to chase down some bike thief. We've got a famous situation of bike thieves in the area here. They don't even just scrap them either, they just rip them apart when they get them back. And you go onto the local Lost and Found, you can see all the poor suckers that don't know about the tradition around here of the nighttime bike thieves and everything. But I always find a nice shrub to just push the bike into, And then you go out and you explore the places that you're not supposed to, but the inner soul of your being is meant to do so, because you were born on this planet, Am I correct about that? Anyway, that's what the video is here. I mean, I could end it right now, and I'm probably gonna end the video whenever I choose to do so. But I don't know. I mean, if you want it to be music related or whatever, give me enough ambition. That's the word I was searching for earlier anyway. I was fishing for that word and I couldn't find anything at all. I reeled in for what words I was searching for, and I found this pair of old rubber boots. They didn't have any liner on the inside or anything. And if you reel something like that in, you're stuck with the things. Because you can't just throw them back in the river or whatever, because you'll probably find them and fish them out again the very next time you cast anyway, Finally, I found something that was what I was looking for, and it was the word ambition. And it came about, whatever videos I was going to make in the future from a pirated video program didn't crash on me all the time and everything like that. So, I like to make some more music videos pretty soon and all that. Another thing I'd like to state about wandering and roaming around at nighttime is that you can get some pretty decent sounds to use if you have your sound recorder out. I really enjoy some of the night birds that you find and everything like that. But it is an experience, and it's not made for everybody. And I'm glad the things that I enjoy to do are slowly over time, though. I was gonna say that they're distinct things that you have to be on the near point of cracking or whatever to enjoy certain kinds of endeavors, I suppose. Like climbing up the rooftops and all that kind of stuff before CCTV took over the entire galaxy, the whole world, pretty much. You're always the star of the show. Just like everybody else. I'll say one thing too. You can look up and you find like everybody like I'm classically trained. Kids are playing everything to absolute perfection. I'm dead. I don't know, dastardly clashing around and everything, and I wouldn't change it. I'm not gonna want to change it. There's people doing it all perfectly and everything. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So, but I'm happy doing it that way. Secretly, if you can't tell, I want to go surfing. See, you're missing. Going missing. The adjustment. Well, what else is there to say? Because we're running out of time here. I heard the sun exploded. What are you gonna do? There's a King Miss. He says it's King Missile. What are you talking about, man? That John S. Hall guy. He's like, oh, we're King Missile. It's like, no, you're not. I'm gonna tell you what your band name is. It's not King Missile. It's King Missile. He had a what is it? The song Ed? Was that it? The song Ed? I can't play it. I had copyright songs on my own songs, man. Not on here, but if I posted stuff on those other sites that blow. Zuckerberg, that's his name, right? Is Birdface or whatever, Zuckerbirdface, those sites, they get strikes against my own songs. It's a song called Ed by King Missile. That's about the apocalypse, right? Yeah. Ed was at the end of his rope, an expression he detested. Well, somebody started to already post the lyrics. Tyler Mertes. Yeah, I like going to the videos where you can actually like comment on them. But if they have a topic account created, which my thing had a topic account created for it, and I merged it so that you can actually leave comments on album releases. I think it's rude to have a topic account and not be able to comment on the music you're listening to. Anyway, I guess tonight's the moment of the night. The artist of the moment of the night is King Missile. Because when they were a rock band, when they were an alternative rock band, I think that's one of my favorite bands for creating a certain kind of sound that isn't up its own butt in seriousness. Like, I think, nah, you're gonna get in trouble again. I was gonna say, like, the band Faith No More started to become really good songwriters, but, like, it started to turn to where it's, like, really serious, and the fun was kind of going away. But with the King Missile as a alternative rock band. It was that very DIY sound. You know who had a good serious sound when they're turning into serious music was the Angry Samoans. Making it sound like I'm just a dastardly, cog-headed, duck. Because there's a lot of other musicians in music history and everything like that. And I find, like I said, you're supposed to catch up being in the present day's musical taste and everything. But it's more inspiring going back in time, and you're mismatching to being able to be involved in present civilization or whatever when you're actually like finding more interest the further in time you go back through musical inspirations. And I'm not talking about those bands at all. I'm talking about like really early music. And I'll just, not be able to pull up any examples or anything, of course, which is my favorite thing to do. But back to the subject at hand here. These strings did something where they sounded dead, and now, to me, and this is just to me, I guess, they sound really. This is the example of when strings are past their lifetime. Because these are not coded strings. These are the EJ17 strings. They came back to life again. And Halloween is just a day away now. Alright, you want to hear a beat? Let's see if I can pull this beat up really quick. I'm going to have it in the backdrop of one of my videos, I think. The H drive takes a few minutes to load, or a few seconds, I don't know. It takes a bit to load. I don't know if I can find it now. The pressure's on. What about the G drive? Here it is, it's the G drive. Yeah, you get a little bit of a delay on these drives. They need some cleaning out. They need to be run through the car wash, I think. I don't know where I'm trying to go with this. Songs, old. Those are old lyrics. I can't open them because I don't have the old word processor program for them. I'll show you. We got these going on here. It'll just take a few. It's alright. You don't got any patience. It's been an issue for a long time. I don't want to play hardly much of it, really. It's called Stomach Cramps. That's what it's called. And it got a nice beat to it. I thought you'd enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting there. I mean, you don't know how many billions of things I have to sort through, so there we go. Hopefully we won't get the lyric part, but this is it. This is a good beat, I think. Ready?
Stomach cramps. They hurt really bad. They make me not happy, but very, very mad. I'm not so glad about it.
So I thought you'd like that. I got Miss My Potato. That's enough.